Great. So I'm Scott, the CTO at Linelab. My background is in mechanical engineering and operations. I co-founded Linelab with another MIT colleague after a related research collaboration with Boeing. And so currently, there's a big problem across industries of struggling to engineer production and supply chain to scale. Elon Musk talks just about how hard the problem is, and at the same time, we see huge capacity being added in manufacturing. But the inability to address the scaling design problem is having major impact on incumbents and startups and scale-ups alike. It's a significant problem, not just in terms of dollars, but also in missing capacity in the industrial base. And what sits at the core of this problem in most cases is this inability to have accurate and informative analysis to bridge the valley of death into scaled, profitable production after a lot of initial investment. Excel can't do this, and traditional simulation tools can't either. It's exactly here that Linelab finally delivers a real solution. Linelab is new software that fixes the way supply chains and production systems are designed. Now, for the first time, the problem can be solved from right to left, where we can input the design and the manufacturing steps and the goals for scale, rate, cost, etc. And Linelab will handle the thousands of trade-offs to give us a prescriptive result about how the system should be configured. At its core is new technology for modeling the complex interactions, variability, and randomness in the production system and supply chain. This is built on pure math and not AI, so there's no hallucination or unpredictability. This is right alongside the sophisticated financial modeling, which allows for all of the decisions to be in business-relevant contexts. With transparency characterizing the impact of every input, teams are able to effectively design, course define, and focus efforts on high-risk decisions. When Linelab is run, it's automatically designing the production system to meet the requirements and constraints. It's designing things like optimal capacity, flow time, critical path, inventory, and other resources. The minimal inputs needed are the manufacturing process steps, resource costs, and performance requirements, but all these can be input with uncertainty. Additional constraints can be added, like maximum floor space, maximum capital, fixed existing equipment, etc. So Linelab can really cover the range from updating existing production to designing totally new greenfield sites. We see a quick example of processes, costs, and rates being updated, and an entirely new production system is designed that meets those requirements. As outputs, we are getting things like total cost, the optimization of capacity, utilization, and inventory. Linelab is also producing the trade of how unit cost actually changes with production capacity. And finally, Linelab is characterizing and ranking the main cost drivers across design, operations, and finance to really give the insight on which levers to pull. As an example, a major aerospace OEM, OEM used Linelab to perform the trade-off analysis between two production technologies with very different TRL MRL. To model this in Linelab, they were finally able to quantify those maturity differences using uncertainties on the inputs. Linelab was then able to characterize the resulting output uncertainties, like in unit cost, for example. The team then used the risk analysis, shown here with the size of the bubbles, to determine which factors were most significant for selecting a technology. Using these data, they were able to quite clearly direct their efforts and resources to only the factors that mattered for de-risking the decision. As a result, capital costs were reduced, unit costs improved, and the design cycle substantially accelerated. So we are looking for companies who want to pilot Linelab. Generally, Linelab is answering questions around the costs and manufacturing strategy for new products or new production, and it's honestly never too early in the product lifecycle to start using Linelab. Data don't have to be complete or sophisticated to have a big impact. It's really about making better strategic decisions in the system and flow where those big levers are. We've worked with customers in diverse verticals, and we're always open to more and exploring exciting new potential applications. So if this sounds relevant to the problems you're facing, feel free to reach out to me, and we'd love to consider the conversation.